They don't wanna see me win. No, they don't wanna see me win. They must be up the plucky way they trippin'. Just tryna get to that money, I ain't saying that. Why they tryna send up back to jail? All I wanna do is get this money and prefer. Police knocking on my door, I don't know what to do. I look like a fool, what they tryna see me do? Body on me, I don't know what I've done. I'm just trying to get to the money, then the police come. I'm done. I might have to live my life on the run, yeah, or some, yeah. I don't want no court case. I just want to get this money in the case.
It's FIF Sports, man. It's Lamont. We back. Another podcast video. Told you, man, we had a double upload right now. Had to do two separate videos because, again, I just really wanted to make sure I gave each video a lot of attention to detail. As far as breaking down these game highlights, my thoughts on not just the teams, but obviously the two primary players of the day, LaMelo Ball and Lonzo Ball. All right, two brothers, man, and then this has been a long time coming. Strong social media following, strong fan base. You know, they both have very unique routes to the NBA. Lonzo, the more traditional route through UCLA. LaMelo, non-traditional route, leaving high school, Spire Academy, playing overseas from the JBA to Lithuania to Australia. So very non-traditional route. They both found themselves getting drafted in the top of the lottery, and they both find themselves on teams that are still, you know, very youthful, and they're looking to develop to hopefully blossom into contenders later on as both of these two players just kind of grow in their own rights. So first game head to head. Again, I've had my opinions on both players. I think they both have a lot of potential and promise, but they're just in two completely different situations. And to be honest, they have two completely different styles of play. With Lonzo being more of a playmaker, more of a facilitator, more defensive oriented. So he's probably going to be the better defender of the two. LaMelo just being more dynamic, being more versatile, more creative in transition, more creative when attacking the rim to finish at the rim amongst the trees. I think his offensive skill set is just a bit more savvy. And I think his passes, I think he's a little bit more creative than Lonzo with his passes as far as getting to them to where they need to be. So again, we're talking about two different players. Definitely not throwing shade to either player. Again, I'm just here to really talk about this game, the pros and cons of, you know, obviously just like we broke down the Warriors game, I really want to break down where this New Orleans team is struggling, where is this Hornet team struggling, if they are struggling, and what do I expect of these two players going forward in the future. So, you know, with no further ado, again, y'all know this is NBA film study. So before we get started, make sure you guys like, comment, and subscribe. Hit the notification bell to the video if you have not done so already. Again, that is a must for the NBA film study. All right. Like, comment, and subscribe because we're here to really break this down. All right. Really break these games down. I really want to take a look at some of the offensive sets that both teams run, how these teams are playing defense. And again, just like we did in the Warriors video, I like to pay attention to the finer details of this game. Are they communicating on defense? Are they putting their head down? Are they mad at each other? All right. How are they looking on the bench? All right. Do they look like a team? Are they cheering for each other off the bench? There's so many different things that you really need to keep an eye on in an NBA game, as opposed to just whoever has the ball and who's scoring the ball. All right, because I think all of that goes into culture, and that's going to give you an indication of which team is going to have more success going forward into the future. All right, so let's go ahead with no further ado. We're going to get to the drawing board to break down the Charlotte Hornets and the New Orleans Pelicans. All right. Got the game here. This was a game where New Orleans had the more talented team. With Zion, Brandon Ingram, both potential all-stars. I just thought they were more primed to really dominate this game. And early on, I like how Zion made a concerted effort to continuously get to that. Great kick out. Trust in your team. All right, so we got the Charlotte Hornets taking home this game, 118 to 110. I mean, this was to me, in a game where I expected New Orleans to win this game. New Orleans playing at home, and they have the better team, guys like Brandon Ingram. And they just missed the bell. They let it. This was an example of allowing a team to come in and just simply outwork you. They outworked them today. This is a game that New Orleans should have won. They just got outworked in all facets today. The only one that really came to play today was Zion Williamson from start to finish. 12 of 22 from the field, 26 points, 8 rebounds. Brandon Ingram just shot terribly from the field. But you got to credit that to great defense, man. Guys like Bridges, PJ Washington, these guys are out there really putting in work. He shot 3 of 11 from the field. And 3 of 10 from the 3-point line. So, all of his makes were 3-pointers. I don't want to see a guy like Brandon Ingram settling like that. 10 threes. Steven Adams, 13 points, 7 rebounds. Pretty solid right there. Zion, another national televised game where you let your fans down. 5 points on 2 of 8 shooting, 1 of 7 from the 3-point line. Definitely disappointing. Obviously, Bledsoe didn't show up to play. Now, JJ Redick, great shooting night off the bench. And Hart came out and played great. 19 points, 8 rebounds. I love what Hart's doing. I don't see how he's not in this starting lineup. But for Bledsoe, but I guess you do need guys coming off the bench. But when we look on the flip side of this, when we look on the other side of the ball, I mean, the Charlotte Hornets play like a team that loves to play each other. And again, it's not the perfect team. It's not the perfect roster. I mean, they have holes in certain places. I think they have a bit too many guards. I think they need some more bigs. I think they need some more wings. But this is a team right here that they enjoy playing with each other. And you can see it in the way they play. Gordon Hayward, 26 points on 9 of 18 shooting. Very solid game for him. But this was a win by committee because multiple players in double figures. You had Bismack Biyombo with 11 points, 6 rebounds. Devontae Graham with 17 points, 6 rebounds, 8 assists. Great game. Terry Rozier, 15 points, 4 rebounds, 5 assists. Coming off the bench, Miles Bridges with 20 and 4 rebounds. Great game for him. And again, bringing that intensity. He brings that intensity, so I can't knock him. And Lonzo Ball, man, 1 assist away from a triple-double. Not Lonzo, LaMelo Ball, I'm sorry. LaMelo Ball, 1 assist away from a triple-double. He had 26 minutes of action. As you guys can see, every game that he plays, James Borrego is giving him more and more minutes. He's giving him more and more trust on the court. As you guys saw from the video, he's allowing him to make decisions on the fly. All right. And the best thing, the one creative thing that I see Borrego doing with this offense, he's not always putting LaMelo at the point. And I think that's because he's such a great rebounder. I mean, look how many times we saw LaMelo sneaking there for the offensive rebound, reset, and then pass to get the assist to a guy. I think that's a smart move, especially when you got a guy like Devontae Graham and Terry Rozier, both guys who are great scorers, both guys who can defend. We know Devontae Graham somewhat struggles on the defensive end because of his size, but he definitely gives effort. So, man, across the board, man, this game had to do wonders for the confidence of the Hornets, man. It definitely did wonders to have a comeback win 118 to 110. LaMelo Ball kind of stole the show there. Came up big with a near triple-double. Miles Bridges with 20. I mean, again, I appreciate these wins by committee because we're dealing with two players, Lonzo Ball and LaMelo Ball, where with such humongous fan bases, with so many fans, everybody wants to see these guys succeed individually. And I think in the midst of this process, where whether it's Lonzo and we want to see him have bigger stat lines with scoring and being more assertive, whether it's LaMelo, I hear a lot of different things. Guys say he needs more playing time, he needs more usage, he needs more plays called for him. I mean, we hear all of this chatter about these two guys, and it's just amazing what they're doing. Like I said, I don't really want to continue on going on a tangent about these two guys, but I honestly like what they're doing with him. I want you guys to let me know what you think in the comments. Let me know what you think in the comments about Lonzo Ball and LaMelo Ball. Let me know what you think about both these guys, their performances yesterday. But for LaMelo to come out and have a near triple-double coming off the bench, all right, slowly getting integrated into this system. You know what? What we're also going to do is, because I know a lot of people are having a hard time just, especially fans. If you're a fan of LaMelo and Lonzo Ball, especially LaMelo Ball, a lot of people are having a hard time understanding, why are they not just giving them the keys right now? Why don't they just throw everything on them right now and just let them learn on the fly? And I think that Adrian Wojnarowski, who interviewed James Borrego, actually gave a very good report on his thoughts on the development of him and how it's going to pan out as the year goes on. What we're going to do is we're just going to transition to that video real quick, just so you guys can get a quick glimpse of what Adrian Wojnarowski spoke with the Hornets coach about Lonzo's development. So I just want to play that video for you guys real quick right now.
Woj back in for a little perspective, because LaMelo took a fairly unorthodox route to the NBA. So how does that change the way Charlotte is working through his development right now, Woj?
Yeah, Maria, I spoke with James Borrego, Charlotte's coach, and he has such a strong history in player development coming up in the Spurs system, and you saw what he did with that young group in Charlotte last year. And something that he told me he's really focused on was allowing the team and LaMelo Ball to get to know each other on the floor before they just threw him in for a significant amount of minutes from the beginning. There was no summer league. There's been no chance to really, build a relationship on the floor and off it with COVID. And so you've seen them over time increase his minutes. And the thing that he has really worked with LaMelo Ball on is not always having to go for the home run play. That it's okay to hit some singles too in basketball. And one thing that Borrego told me he really has liked about LaMelo Ball, they didn't know coming in what kind of leader is he going to be, a teammate. Remember, this is a player who really has not finished a season of basketball with any team from high school to Europe, to Australia, for different reasons. He left before the seasons were over. They see a player who just loves to be around the group every day, who has learned everybody's name throughout the organization, and they really think in time, they've got themselves a franchise point guard in LaMelo Ball.
All right, there you have it right there. You got Adrian Wojnarowski just kind of talking about LaMelo Ball's development. And again, this is something I've been saying. I know it's not been easy on the ears of especially fans of LaMelo Ball who want to see him thrust out there. But this is not the typical season. I was on a podcast yesterday, and a brother by the name of Hoop Jargon was just kind of reiterating the same talking points. And anybody that's kind of been affiliated with the NBA, you understand that making the leap from college or overseas or from whatever other level of basketball that you played and going to the NBA is not the traditional leap. And when I look on some of the rookies this year, when I look at the Killian Hayeses and when I look at, even Tyrese Halliburton, when I look at Denny Avdija, I mean, a lot of these rookies, and Obi Toppin struggled in his first game, the one game that he played before he got hurt. They're going to have a lot of growing pains because some of these guys are getting thrust into the fire too quickly. And I think Borrego, and see, I didn't even know that Borrego had a background in player development. So Borrego started his NBA career off in player development for the Spurs, which the Spurs have been elite at player development over the last 10 years, elite at developing players. So I kind of think that James Borrego really understands what it takes to develop players. I mean, we can just look back onto last year, how he was able to develop Devontae Graham, and Devontae Graham was easily, at least to me in my eyes, easily the most improved player in the NBA. A guy coming out of the second round in the draft, undersized out of Kansas, and this guy who played light years above where I thought he could be in the NBA. That comes from great player development, taking your time with guys and really teaching guys. And I think they're doing the same thing with Lonzo Ball. And I think today was even more beneficial because he played great and they got the win on top of it. So everything he did was impactful. When you have people out there, they're going to look to the minutes. They're going to look to a lot of the things that you can kind of nitpick. At the end of the day, he played great and they got the win, which is the most important thing. The team got the win, and LaMelo Ball's play had a huge impact on winning. Y'all need to understand what that does for a player's confidence. All right, no, he didn't get the triple-double. I mean, yes, it would have been nice to see him be the youngest player ever to get the triple-double. This is going to be an extremely long basketball season. We're only 9 games into the season. Only 9 games into the season. There's a lot of basketball left to be played. And James Borrego is not going to try to hit a home run and do everything in the first 2 weeks of the NBA season. He's going to develop this slowly. All right. Now, a couple players are off to a bad start this season. When we look at guys like Devontae Graham, even Terry Rozier struggled to some degree. Gordon Hayward's probably been the most consistent player, although he did have to sit out with that hand injury. PJ Washington, again, kind of inconsistent, also dealing with some injuries. I mean, Bismack Biyombo, he's going to be a defensive presence, but you don't have him in there for much offense. Miles Bridges is playing crazy this year, bringing a lot of energy and effort off the bench. I think, listening to what James Borrego said about Miles Bridges, again, this is another guy that they have to focus on developing. I think he said he wanted to put him in the more traditional role that he was used to being on, like when he was at Michigan State. And we see how he's thriving in that particular role, especially when he's able to come off the bench and play with a point guard like LaMelo Ball. So both of those two guys, I think they're core pieces to this team going forward in the future. And to the Lonzo and LaMelo Ball fans, especially the LaMelo Ball fans, I want you guys to understand that this Charlotte Hornet team, they have multiple players to develop. They have multiple high draft picks like PJ Washington, like Miles Bridges, like LaMelo Ball. They even have to maybe try to figure out how we're going to develop Vernon Carey, our second round pick out of Duke, which this is a team that's struggling. They need another big, right? So, I mean, they got to figure out what they're going to do with Malik Monk. They have to figure out which guard are we going to keep. Are we going to keep Devontae Graham and Terry Rozier, or are we going to move one of them so we can maybe elevate LaMelo Ball into the starting lineup a little faster? I think they're playing the long game on this. I don't think they're looking at this I don't think they're going to capitulate to what the fans want to see, which the fans just want to see the flashy plays and LaMelo put up big numbers, irregardless of whether they win or lose. I think Borrego's playing this the smartest way possible. And when I look at his background and how successful he's been with teams like the San Antonio Spurs, I know that he has a plan. I know that this front office has a plan. And I knew that this front office had a plan the minute that they signed Gordon Hayward. One of the smartest things that they did. A lot of people is going to say he's overpaid, but when you're a small market, right, when you don't get a lot of free agents coming to your team, what better way to show other free agents that Charlotte is the place to be? By overpaying to bring guys in there. All right. So again, you guys, let me know what you think about this game. What did you think about Lonzo's performance? Obviously, I felt Lonzo was a bit underwhelming. You guys heard the announcers talking about Lonzo all day. talking about how he's just not been aggressive when he gets to the rim, which is completely 360 from LaMelo, because when he gets to the rim, he's always looking for crafty ways to score. And if he gets in trouble, he's always able to find a way to eke that pass to another guy for an easy bucket. I believe that everything going on with Lonzo Ball is all mental. I don't think that he believes the coach has full faith in him. And which is why he's playing so back and forth and hesitant. He might play good one game, bad the next, good one game, bad the next. And when it goes up and down like that, it just feels like to me that he has no level of trust with his head coach, which is unfortunate because I think they have a pretty good coach over there. So again, smash the like, hit the subscribe, do all that good stuff. Let me know in the live chat what you guys thought about this game right here. Because I'm really curious to hear your thoughts on this right here. These two guys, big social media sensation, but I definitely had to do the NBA film study on these highlights just so you guys could get a better understanding of how these two teams operate. And salute and congrats to the Charlotte Hornets for coming out with the win. I didn't think they could win this game, but they definitely outplayed the New Orleans Pelicans on this night. Hey, this is FYF Sports, man. It's been another great podcast episode. Man, I love doing these NBA film study videos. Every day that goes on, every time we see a game that needs to be talked about, we're definitely going to get on it. We're definitely going to talk about these games. So salute for everybody for chiming in today. If you learned anything, if you got anything away from this video, just make sure you smash that like button, share the video, hit the subscribe. Let your friends know about it because we welcome everybody over here to FYF Sports, man. But it's been another great podcast video.
This open letter to my supporters. I want to thank y'all for still supporting. Plug prices right, I'm trying Wheel of Fortune. Just for all my pain and misfortunes. Can't leave a stone unturned, I'm pouring on my heart. This my confessions like Usher, hustle from the start. The dynasty I put together, one and torn apart. Whenever my back gets a wall, I always fall. My life on the line, took risks for the fam. Just wanna earn the respect from my peers, I'm a man. Had a 9 to 5, then hit the track, switch up the plans. Got millionaire dreams, need access to them bands. What I made in 2 weeks can make an hours just sign. Had to build my foundation with the plug cause I jam. Long as the sales call and spin, I don't give a damn. The pain that I got, you'll never understand. Remember being lost, trying to find my purpose when against the odds. This shit on purpose. Wanna level up on niggas, get my bitch her Birkin.